Hello beautiful creatures, welcome to my channel. I am Aradia, the Witch of Dark Lights, and I hope you all are doing well. I'm making this video, I'm probably going to rant a little bit about cord cutting, my thoughts on it, and yeah, all of that. So I'm not going to be going into how you do cord cutting per se, but more or less just share my thoughts primarily on what I feel about just anyone doing cord cutting. So grab a seat if you want to listen to me share my thoughts and possibly go into a rant about my feelings on it. These are my opinions, and I'm just sharing this based on my experience and what I feel about cord cutting. So yes. So firstly, cord cutting. Cord cutting is you wanting to sever a tie. And this is an energetic cord. So it's severing a tie from something that has influenced you in your life. Something you have fell in love with. Something that has become like this big part of your life. And it is very much attached to you and your life, or you're attached to it in your life. And it is not always that it's something bad that you're trying to get rid of or sever the ties with. It just simply means at this part of your path, you no longer want to be linked to this thing, to this energetic cord. You want to sever those ties. And we develop these energetic cords because when you interact with something, there's this transference of energy. There's this energy that you develop, that thing between you and that thing, that makes its own energy, which is that cord. So your interaction with whatever it is has developed this link, this signature of energy that is a part of your life now. So and this can happen when you meet someone and you develop a relationship, and that's a cord being developed. When you have sex with someone, that's kind of a cord being developed. So the list goes on. And so that's the general idea of what cord is, and what energetic cord is, and the connections that and why it's developed. So I don't feel like everyone should be, well, I don't want to say it like that, because I feel like you can be equipped to do it. However, if you are going to do, let me start off like this and give you an example, because I like to give examples to kind of help you understand what it is that I'm trying to say. So when you feel like you have a trauma, and you need help, do you counsel yourself? Some people do, but sometimes these traumas are so great, sometimes these influences in our lives that we want to get rid of are so great that we need help to understand the process, to talk it through, to work it through, to take those steps to remove this thing that has developed claws and grabbed hold on you and your life. So some things you gotta like pry the claws open to get rid of. It's not that simple. So it's the same thing with cord cutting. It is not just that simple. So if you feel like you are capable of cord cutting, now there's levels, because there's these small things that we deal with throughout our lives. That is the cord, energy cord is developed just based on a simple interaction, and it's not anything that's very traumatic or anything like that, and you just want to get rid of it. and stop thinking about it. Yes, you may not need to do all of that extra work or process to get rid of it. But a lot of times, I see people wanting to do the cord cutting because they're trying to sever a relationship with a person. This can become something that needs more extensive working. So the reason why I have a problem with this is because all I'm seeing, and I could be wrong, people behind the scenes could be very well so doing the work that it takes. But I just want to share my thoughts on that, just in case there may be people out there that just think that it's okay to do candle magic or sever the ties, because there's several ways to do this. You can use, like I use sometimes my athame or a sword as the literal interpretation of like severing the cords, cutting it, or candle magic. But any way that you do it, you can't just do that and leave it there. Right? So a lot of times in magic, you have to put the action to it. So when you do candle magic, it's setting the intention out there to help you when you take those steps to move through the process with ease, and kind of help you, guide you, send things your way that helps you in the actions that you are taking. So when you do, and there is some magic that I've seen done where you don't need to do anything, and it has happened, boom, just like that. That's not what I'm talking about. And a lot of times that's rare. So when you do magic, you always need, there's a process. There's steps you have to take. You have to put these intentions into action. So when you do a cord cutting, it's the same thing. You can't just set it and forget it, right? The idea behind set it and forget it is, you're not dwelling on whether or not it worked. So when you do that candle magic, that candle magic is done. However, the process still remains for you to go through the necessary things, because these cords are attached. You have to find the origin of that attachment, right? So if you don't find the origin, you're not detaching anything. And one of the reasons why I don't think that, everyone can do this is because that trauma can be so strong that deep in your mind, you really want to stay. You want this person to love you. You want to, even if it's out of you thinking it's revenge, you want that person to finally see you for who you feel you are. You want this person to notice you. So all of that is still there, even though logically okay, this person, I need to let this person go. But because you haven't dealt with the rejection and the trauma, you still have these thoughts. So when you're going to do the candle magic, or however it is that you're going to do the cord cutting, it is these intentions that is still hovering over the process of what you're going through. It's still hovering over you. And if you don't deal with that, that cord is still remaining, because the cord is attached to those things, not the surface things of you logically saying you no longer desire to have this influence in your life. That action is not the cord. The cord is attached to the real reasons. It's still attaching itself to your rejections and the traumas. you have to go through the process. And I hate using the word shadow work, but you know what? This is what everybody knows, and this is what everybody understands. But without using the word shadow work, you have to do your homework. You have to go through understanding why you were influenced by this thing in the first place. Why is it so? Why do you even have to sit down and do counter magic? Why can't you just say to yourself, I am not going to think about this person anymore. I am not going to have this person or this thing influence me anymore. Why can't you just do that? It's not that simple, right? So because these things have developed this attachment and clawed on and grabbed help, and they're grabbing hold onto our lives, we have to pry them open, get to the root of the problem, as we go through working cord cutting. So I really want to emphasize that cord cutting is a process. It's a tough process, because you have to acknowledge that maybe this person didn't want you, that maybe you had your intentions with this person was not that person's intention. You have to deal with maybe you feel rejected, and why you feel rejected. That doesn't feel good. But these are the things that you have to deal with when you are cord cutting. I'm not talking about the things that we go through every day. We develop these attachments to people that we work with, and or not even just work with, because I'm speaking about attachments that are very easy to get rid of. You could have bumped into somebody that you don't know and had an argument, and that's the last time you're ever going to see that person. So, but you're going to go home and think about all the things you should have said, or all the things maybe you should not have said, and think about all the things in hindsight that maybe you should have done. You're building up this cord, this energy cord. So something like that is very easy. You do actively set that intention, and that may just be strong enough to help you get rid of that connection you have developed, that small connection, because it hasn't taken root. You haven't allowed it to take root yet. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this, because I don't want and it's out of love, because there's so many people out here that are going through traumas and trying to find ways to work through them. And sometimes they feel like magic or witchcraft, they look for quick fixes because they don't want to feel the pain anymore. They want to let this thing go. Unfortunately, there's no quick answer. Think about, these things didn't happen overnight. They took time. So in the same way that they took time for you to develop this strong attachment, in a way that it took time for it to really take root in your life, this is the amount of time, for the most part, that it takes to let it ease its way out of your life. So, and we also have to take into account traumas that were already there. And then you go and develop this thing that has influenced you, and it has added on to those traumas, because sometimes we connect with people based on our traumas that we have in our lives. Sometimes those are the connections that we make, and we wonder why they don't work. It's because the root of that connection was based on both your traumas. So Okay, I digress. I just wanted to share that. Have this on my channel, have this in the list of my videos, so that if anybody's coming, you know, maybe I'll have it, because I think I have a couple of cord cutting videos out. I'm not sure if I have to look. I'm not sure if I went into details about cord cutting, but I'm definitely going to put this on the playlist with that, so that if someone runs across my cord cutting videos, they will also see what my thoughts are on it. I'm working with one of my beautiful patrons who is wanting to detach from a situation and detach from something that she feels is no longer good for her. So we're going through that process, and she understands that it's a process. So, you know, many of us can be impatient. I know 100%. I always have to work on my patience, so I understand. And this is why I know through experience of having wanting to do these things and have done these things and failed, because I didn't go through the process. So with that understanding and with that experience, I just want to share that with you. If you're feeling like you need to detach from something, please go through the process so you can heal and be free of it. You don't have to go through an endless loop of having that thing resurface again. You could be, you know, done with it finally and let it go, because you went through the process of what it takes to get rid of it. That is all for today. Please do, if this is your first time here, please do consider subscribing, maybe even giving a thumbs up. Or if you feel you need to give this a thumbs down, let me know why. Maybe it's something that I can shed some light on, or maybe work on. Maybe I need to work on something in my shadows and my subconscious and my traumas. So until the next video, I love you all, and into the shadows.